Introduce. Thank you for joining. Welcome to the Case Room Productions live stream interview session hosted by Case Swoon. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get Trent Domonic in here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you so
Thank you for
much.
having me. I love
You're
that nice
welcome.
introduction. You were just speechless.
Thank you. Yeah. We already kind of did an introduction about you, but I'm gonna
hmm
give you a chance to talk a little bit about yourself and tell the
Gotcha.
viewers who you are and what kind of music you do before we go into questions. Okay?
Gotcha. Well, my name is Trent Domonic. I am originally from Winston-Salem, but I've been living in Charlotte most of my life. Um, I think I make a crossover between R&B and like neo soul with a little mix of like I don't know. I love my 808, so I don't know.
Hmm.
I think I don't know. I like to think that my music is just like a blend of my favorite inspirations. That's really it about me. I just released an album titled Godspeed. Um, it took a year, but I guess we'll talk about all that later.
We already kind of got the gist of what you do as far as and where you're from. You said you are originally from Winston-Salem, but you've lived in
Mhm.
Charlotte.
Yeah, for most of my life, since I was like four
Okay.
or 6 or 7.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So as far as like your upbringing and those sorts of things, how does that influence your music
So,
as of right now?
I grew up in the church. I grew
Mm-hmm.
up in church, and it wasn't until later that I actually joined the choir and started singing with the choir. But I was always around gospel music, and my parents were into like old or R&B music, so I would always hear like R&B music, gospel music. So I get a lot of like I love the harmonies that come from like the choir and like I just love gospel music. So I think gospel music has influenced like the harmonies and the backbone of my music. And I think the fact that they listen to a lot of who can I think of off the top of my head? Keisha Cole, Maxwell, um, there's one more artist. I can't think of his name. Eric Benet, Eric Benet. Yeah.
To your music overall. First of all, it's beautiful. Like every
hmm
song on the album
Thank
is
you.
amazing in every way. You're very welcome.
Thank
But
you.
I was listening to just your vocal ranges and your runs and everything is just on point. It's on point.
hmm
So tell us about your musical
Thank
background
you.
and if you had any schooling or anything like that, just tell us. Tell us.
So, wow. So yeah, so I've been in band since 6th grade. I played the trombone from sixth
Hmm.
to 11th grade, about 11th grade, and then
Hmm.
I was a drum major in the marching band. Like I was in the marching band all of high school, and high school I was also in jazz bands. So I've just always been in band. I've always been around band. So I've always, I've always been around a band director who has like a extremely tuned musical ear. So being that
Hmm.
I was around my band director, Mr. Suggs, he
Oh.
kind of, yeah, he kind of instilled into me like the whole like paying attention to every small detail of the music, and like listening to instruments is different than listening to like voice. But to me, it kind of it goes hand in hand. Like listening to music, you can tune your instrument to sound like a voice. So I've
Mhm.
always tried to be as particular as possible. Well, here lately, I've tried to like train myself to sing like absolutely in tune, always in key. And I think
Mhm.
that has been my biggest influence has just always been being in band and like hearing those instruments loud and right in your ear. It kind of it rubs off on you. So, and I
Mhm.
actually learned how to like tune instruments by ear now. So I think now I'm not gonna say like I'm pitch perfect, but I try to be on point as much as possible.
I mean, I can't tell.
Thank
I
you.
cannot tell at all. You're very welcome. Yeah, we saw if you guys haven't checked him out on YouTube, Trent Domonic is also on YouTube. He originally started out posting a lot more covers than anything, and
Hmm.
we saw those as well. Those are amazing. Your recent performance that you did a couple weeks ago, well, probably a month ago now, for Pinocchio on your
Oh
album.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Oh my gosh. Oh my
yeah.
gosh. It
Yeah,
was
no, I love
like,
that.
I was just like this the whole time. Yes, it was amazing. We loved it. Like everything about it, your vocal ranges, your runs, just the everything. Everything was beautiful
Thank you.
musically. And then you said you worked with Mr. Suggs. I've heard a lot about him. I haven't really dealt with him
Yeah,
any personally, but in the music world, it's kind of tight knit. So everybody kind of knows everybody, especially when it comes to band and
yeah.
music
Hmm.
directing. Do you play any other instruments besides the trombone and the piano? Or
Um, Not really. I mean, I have a guitar, as you can
I
see
see
back
back
here,
there.
and yeah, I try to I the way that I write my songs, like whatever sounds good to me,
Hmm.
whether it is like just a chord on the guitar or like just a note or anything, like I just go from there. So
Gotcha,
I think over
gotcha.
time I will start to learn more and more chords and like and all that.
Mhm.
So
So
ooh.
really, right? Tell us about your latest project, because as you mentioned, there is a latest project or most
Yes.
recently released project.
So okay, Godspeed, we started recording, me and my producer, the Midas Black, we
Mhm.
started recording songs for what we didn't know would be a project at the beginning of last year. Um, right before everything like hit the fan, it got to a really weird place where we didn't know where to go because we had just released my first EP called Green, and
Mhm.
I I don't know. I didn't know at the time like what I wanted my sound to be like, or like, artists have a sound, so I wanted my sound to kind of reflect who I am as an artist, and I didn't think that Green necessarily did. So we just started to record a bunch of songs, like a bunch of songs, and we weren't planning a project, but we were just trying to find a sound. So as we started to move forward throughout the year, and we were just quarantined, recording songs, um, we started to talk like, wow, like we could have a project. So
Mhm.
that's when all the conceptualization began. I think first I came up with the title Godspeed because
Mhm.
I had just been in a place of feeling like whatever happens kind of happens, and I want things to be calculated and intentional. So I know the word Godspeed meaning like goodwill. That's kind of it's just been one big manifestation for me. So my first like album being titled Godspeed, and I got it tattooed on my sternum. I've just been kind of moving in like this whole new mindset of wanting to actually be an artist and not just release songs, like actually make it my career. So that's when we started to formulate the album, and I think the very first song that I can remember that we recorded from the album was Nostalgia. The second song, um,
Mhm.
that was the first song we recorded, didn't know it would be on a project, and I loved it like that. I listened every song that we recorded, like I listened to it for like 2 months
Mhm.
straight, just back to back, every time I got in the car, especially Reach. The first song I listened
Right.
to, like, yeah, it's a banger.
It is.
It's a banger.
It
So
really is.
yeah, that's kind of how Godspeed came about, and I want it to be a lot more intentional in spreading it this time because it is so good, and I've gotten so many messages in my Instagram DMs of people saying like, "Oh, this project has changed my life," or I've been going through something and it just healed me, and that's always been like my goal. Like as an artist, I want to help people through things with my music, and um, I've been doing that. So yeah.
That's amazing. I feel it. Oh my gosh. Like, if you guys have not checked that album out, please go and do so. I promise you, you will not regret it. My top favorite song that I play every time. Actually, I don't even play it. This is how good my car is and how good my Spotify is. I get in the car, turn on the car, it connects to the Bluetooth, and as soon as I connect, Reach comes on.
Really?
I know you have like a good 300
I
streams
love
from
that.
I know you have like a good 300 streams from me just for like the first or the last, excuse me, 2 weeks. I've been ODing
I
on
love
your
that.
album, but that song in general, that song is like it hits right here. And the music video for it, we'll talk about in a second, but the music video
Okay.
is it's amazing. I just
Thank you.
oh, it gives me chills. It's like, oh,
Thank you.
so so we have the backstory. I was gonna actually, that was one of my questions was how you came up with the inspiration for the album title and the entire set of songs within the album, but you answered that, and that's amazing. So pretty much this entire body of work, this collection of work that you have released, it was unintentional, number
Hmm.
one.
It was unintentional.
And then number two, your song list, they're just kind of what you were feeling throughout the year. I want to make sure I'm
Yeah,
asking.
so no, 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 you're good. So I was going through a heartbreak at the beginning of last year, and
Mhm.
I didn't necessarily I have a thing where I don't like to immediately run to writing about like heartbreak and just experiences because I want to actually feel them out before I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and put this onto a record because it just things get I don't want it to get to where living to record. I don't want to live to like make a nice song that I really love. Like I want to live to experience and then formulate those
Mhm.
experiences into music. So
Right.
going through the heartbreak, I kind of told myself like it's okay. At a certain point last year, I was like it's okay, and that's where Godspeed came about. And so each song, it I don't it each song has like a specific emotion. They're all different, um,
Mhm.
and it kind of it's literally like a delineation of the entire grieving process. Because at the beginning of the song, at the beginning of the album, you have reach where it's talking about how my prayer won't reach. You know, you get into a relationship or and you just pray that things work out, and as things are crumbling, it's like what happened? Like I've been praying, you know, I want this to work out. So that kind of how I began the album. And then going into nostalgic feels, feeling how you know, the good times made you feel good. Sweet. I guess I won't talk about each. If I don't know if that's what you want, but
Yeah, this is the
just
Trent
talking.
show
I
right now.
basically. So yeah, so going into Sweet, Sweet is more of like the sweet feeling that you feel in a relationship. Then you have the interlude. The interlude was just something that me and the guitarist Soul Sadana. I don't know if you've seen her Instagram, but she's an incredible guitar player producer. She
Yeah.
helped me out with that. And then going into New Tricks. New Tricks is basically, I don't know if I can curse, but it's just me talking my shit. So yeah, New Tricks was kind of me like, you know, I'm I'm that guy myself. So I don't have to, you know, hold on to old stuff. So yeah, like my guy Ahmed, it was a journey. That's basically
Mhm.
I won't go through each song because it's gonna get too long, but you get the point.
We have a whole hour. Go through every song.
Okay, good, perfect. So from New Tricks it goes into Still, and Still is kind of dark. Um,
Mhm.
that was a song that me and my producer, the Modest Black, we recorded together in the studio, and I wanted
Mhm.
it to be kind of dark and mysterious, and just kind of inquisitive as to I do believe in God, but I also have questions, and that was kind of my way of questioning, you know, why things happen the way that they do. It all goes into the concept of Godspeed because you know you do have your questions as to why things happen the way that they do. But at the end of the day, like whatever's going to happen happens for a reason. So that's why it's just Godspeed. So that's why I put my entire grieving process into this album. So from Still into Hostage. Hostage is just one of those songs where I was stuck on the relationship, still wondering why things happened the way that they did and why I'm still thinking about this person and when am I gonna stop? Going from Hostage into I think the next song is Pinocchio. Pinocchio,
Mm-hmm.
I have a funny story about that song. I was actually crying
We would
as
love
I
to
was
hear it.
recording the song. And I don't even think my producer knew that I was like tearing up a bit, but like the emotions kind of comes out in my voice. I don't know if you can hear like towards
Mm-hmm.
the end of the song, I was kind of getting choked up because I was just like, this is so emotional, and I love to be emotional, and I
Mm-hmm.
love like I don't care to cry. Like I'll cry. Like
I've got emotions just like you. I feel heartbreak just like you do. Pinocchio, did your nose grow? Pinocchio, got me convincing myself I'm not worthy. How was it so easy for you to hurt me? Suffocating,
I
can't
haven't
breathe.
experienced anything
Swear
like
you
Pinocchio, but
were
Mm-hmm.
mine. Sick of
it
all
was
the
just a song that I was writing on my piano. Actually, I was just in my room. It was like 4 a.m. and I started to think about. I was like, I want to write a song about like a Disney character or something. And I was thinking of Pinocchio
Mm-hmm.
and how the whole story of Pinocchio and Geppetto with the lie. He was a liar. And he wanted to be a real boy. So I just thought about how a lot of people are lied to in relationships. They are kind of conned into a person. You don't really know a person until you know a person. Um, so yeah, I was just feeling those lyrics. I write my songs and I don't like to alter them too much, but that was one of the songs where it was just like I freestyled that entire song. Um, yeah, so from Pinocchio into Sappy songs is definitely like 9 times out of 10 how I'm feeling. I'm just an extremely like I think because I am such an empath, like I'm always trying to be as in touch with my emotions as I possibly can, not just to record music, just so that I can um feel them out and get to the bottom of why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling so that I can be happy. So I do like to feel sappy and I have my sappy songs. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's how Sappy Songs came about. And then All Good Things, the last song on the album, we recorded, it was like 4 a.m. We actually have like four different versions of the last song. I didn't know how I wanted it to end. Yeah, there's
Mm-hmm.
multiple versions of each of the songs, but All Good Things in specific, like I didn't know how we didn't know how we wanted it to end it. But we found some chords and then we just went from there like and that I don't know if you remember like me talking at the end like literally I was just like record like four
Mm-hmm.
times and I'm just gonna talk and he's like
Yeah.
okay so yeah that's how
I
everything
love it.
came to be.
Beautiful. Again, I'm speechless. Through the whole album, I could definitely tell, and my team could too, that you put a lot of hard earned, and I say that like with so much hard earned
Yeah.
energy and time and everything else into this album to the point where, I mean, you conveyed everything that you were trying to convey. Everything.
I
And
like to
we
think
hope
so.
to see like an exclusive version somewhere,
Oh yeah.
with these extra, these other versions that you have
Yeah.
out. So we can get that. I'm just, I'm just saying, you know.
No, I got you. I
But
definitely am gonna we have more coming too. I wanted to kind of like redo each of the songs in like a different
Mhm.
way. And we're starting with Pinocchio because I feel like that was the most emotional song. So I think next I'll go into nostalgia maybe or reach. I
Yeah,
don't know.
all three. Let's do all
Yeah,
three.
all three.
I'm rooting for all three. I'm here for all three. I'm gonna be looking out for all three.
Absolutely.
But that's awesome. So let me make sure I covered that. So we talked about the songs on the album. We talked about, we got into a little bit of an in-depth conversation with you going through each song. But let me see. I I'm sure you covered everything within the album that needed to be covered. Going
I
through every
tried.
song, talking about them. Um, what? Let me see. I'm trying to think. Yeah, you answered that question too. You answered every question that I had for this section.
Really?
Yes, that's okay. That's okay. It's the Trent show. I didn't have to
Oh
cry it out.
no.
That's even better. That is even better. But overall, like, do you have any other projects that may be coming up that you want to
Um,
talk about?
Not necessarily. I think as of right now, I am just focusing on pushing this album as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do want to release like a sort of like a deluxe version, but not really. But I do want to extend some songs possibly,
Mm-hmm.
um, and just go from there. I'm planning. Don't want to talk about it too much, but I am planning like a huge move out of North Carolina. So I am gonna have to focus on all that all within this year. So it's just a lot hopefully going on and a
Mm-hmm.
lot of elevation in the right places.
Yeah. All in Godspeed, right?
All in Godspeed, absolutely.
Amen. Yes, I think
Amen.
now I'm gonna have to jump on the Godspeed trend and get me a Godspeed tattoo.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
I'm a fan now. You have converted me officially.
Oh,
That's it.
thank you.
We're done. I'm a Trent Domonic fan.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So good luck to you on your move, number one, before
Thank
because I
you.
may forget to say it later. So I want to say it now.
Thank you.
But we want to go into a little bit more about your project Godspeed and have you been performing any? Have you been in any showcases or anything like that for the album?
So, I actually the week before, I believe it was was it the week before? I think yeah, the week before I released my album, I did have like I performed at an open mic, Lyrical Healing open
Hmm.
mic. I performed three songs from my album there, but I do have, excuse me, on April 24th, Saturday, April 24th, from 1 to 6, my cousin is having a small business and talent expo. So I'll be performing with my pianist, and we're gonna do a few more songs from my album.
Awesome. Tell us the location and
Um,
like the city.
One sec. Sorry, I had to grab
Okay.
my iPad.
Yeah.
So I believe it's Wilkinson Boulevard. It's in Charlotte.
Okay.
2459 Wilkinson Boulevard. I don't know if you're gonna remember that, but I'll post a flyer on my Instagram. But it will be in
Okay.
Charlotte.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Once we look back at the live stream, so we'll get it, and
Oh
we'll
yeah,
definitely, if we can't make it, we'll make sure to some kind of way send somebody there so we can tune in. Okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's
But other
exciting.
than
And you
that,
guys are,
I'm sorry.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. What were you gonna
I
say?
would no, I was just gonna say I'm trying to get more into not get more go get back into performing because COVID stopped a lot of performances and one place where I feel the most comfortable is on the stage and I didn't know that I was the most comfortable on the stage until like I got back on the stage and I was just like wow like this is crazy how comfortable I feel. I'm extremely nervous before I perform
Mm-hmm.
but as soon as I get on that stage it's like all right, let's do this and let's do it well. So yeah, I'm looking for more performances here, more
Yeah.
showcases.
Awesome. I want to kind of get into the conversation about COVID and how you're able to maneuver through that with your music and everything. I know you said you were quarantined, so you were able to get this album done this year. But other than that, and the cutback on performances, how are you holding up as an artist throughout the coronavirus?
Um, how am I holding up? I'm not.
I
I
think
I
we're all in
think
that same boat.
yeah, at first it was extremely rough because I did have like I had a few big things lined up.
Hmm.
Um I had a few big things lined up, and they didn't happen because of COVID. So Far Sounds, I was supposed to be performing with them before
Mhm.
COVID began, and we had to cancel that performance. Just just a few big moves, and it was hard at first because I didn't even really want to go to the studio because the studio is at my producer's house. So I was like,
Mhm.
not that I think that I have COVID. I just, at that time,
Mhm.
everybody was so uncertain about everything. So I was just quarantining and didn't know what to do. And I wasn't even writing. I didn't write much. I was just
Mhm.
kind of still, like extremely still. Like I wasn't writing. I wasn't really, I mean, of course I was singing because I'm always singing, but I
Yeah.
wasn't, there wasn't really much going on. And
Mhm.
it taught me though that throughout a time of adversity, like it is possible to rest, but to still keep going at the same time. Because I did get an album done, but then
Mhm.
again, like I didn't. I was like, I don't even know when this is gonna end. So what am I, still recording for? It was just
Mhm.
a lot of uncertainty that was going on at the beginning of COVID. But I think, now as vaccines are rolling out and restrictions are loosening, it's up from here. That's really all that I can say.
I know that's right. At this point, they're probably giving out as many vaccines as possible. So, yes,
Yeah,
with Godspeed, it's up from here.
yeah,
That's awesome. That I mean, not the fact that, during quarantine you weren't able to do anything, but the fact that you can look beyond what you had to go through this past year to see ahead and make those moves and keep your head up and continue to do what you're
hmm
doing is amazing and an inspiration in itself. I know there are a lot of
yeah,
artists out here who kind of just took a nap for the year. You just took a
yeah.
nap. A long nap.
Took a
But
nap.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like what else could you possibly do? And a lot of artists, including myself, I was affected by the coronavirus, as far as performing is concerned. So I
hmm
completely understand where you're coming from in the whole having to basically give up your gigs to
Yeah.
sit at home. So
Yeah, and
I feel
I'm
you.
not even gonna lie. I did. I took a nap myself. At the beginning of COVID, I was like, well, I've never experienced this much sleep. But then it got to a point where I was like, I don't want to be asleep. Like I want to be outside, and I can't be outside.
As you mentioned before, it's all up from here. It's
Yeah.
really all up from here. So that's a good outlook on life. Thank you for those who are joining. But we want to go ahead and get to the last section, and that's pretty much just the overall um research-based questions that we have for you. So we kind of asked some of those questions at the beginning when it came to your YouTube and all of that stuff.
hmm
But we wanted to know really how you got started in the music industry and like what made you want to, aside from being in band, because we know you were
hmm
in band and all of that stuff. But what made you want to start singing
Yeah.
and hold that as the forefront of your music career?
Um, I'll say, leaving school, I was at East Carolina
Mm-hmm.
for only a semester. And I left school and I was just kind of sitting at home. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like I was looking left and right and left, up and down and up. I was just like, I don't really know like where to go from here. And I knew that I had like this gift. And right when I left school, I got my tonsils removed, so my voice was extremely light. My voice was very thick before I got my tonsils removed. So like after when I got them removed, I was like, wow, like my voice is beautiful. So I'm like, where do I go from here? And I've always wanted to sing. Like I always wanted to sing. I didn't know that I wanted singing to be my career, but 2018, was it 2018 I released my first song? Either 2018 or 2019. No, it was 2018. 2018 I released my first song. It's called
Mm-hmm.
Beauty and the Beast. It was under a whole nother different name. I didn't know how to like there was just a lot that I didn't know. So releasing my first
Mm-hmm.
song, I released it under a whole different name. So so yeah, from there I kind of didn't know where to go. I was like, I just released a song and like, do I release another one? Because everyone loved it. Like a lot of people did love it. But I was like, I don't know what
Mhm.
to do from here. Like I don't know how to be in the music industry. So I just started to do my research. I started reading a lot. I started to realize that my musical inspirations, who my
Mhm.
musical inspirations were, and I was kind of like watching their careers, seeing how they maneuvered at the beginning and how they maneuver now. Because in order to be one of the greats, you have to mimic the greats as far as um, just what they do, and not necessarily their sound, but how they move. You know, the greats move in a different way. So that's kind of what I how I began everything was just like watching a bunch of YouTube videos, seeing people's interviews, listening to their
Mhm.
music. Um, yeah, that's kind of how I began into the
Awesome.
music. Yeah,
Awesome. So kind of similar to how most of us start with
yeah,
singing as musicians anyway. We just kind of like, oh,
yeah.
what are they doing? That looks cool. I want to try it.
Yeah. Literally, yeah, literally. Like I want to take a kick at it, see if I can
Yeah.
actually be great.
Well, it sounds like you're on a fucking Godspeed train at this point. Yeah, exactly where you need to go. Like, shoot, do you need a ticket? I mean, like, like it,
Stop. Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
welcome. It is the truth. It's the truth. So we want to see you do great, and we want to see you excel at Case Win Productions, which is the reason, part of the reason why we asked you to come and join our panel today and interview with us. We wanted to give you some exposure, the exposure that you need to push your album off and your music videos that you have coming up or that you have recently released, all of that. We definitely see your vision and we believe in your talent. Want to go ahead and let you kind of get some plugs put in. I know you said you have a show coming up April 24th. Tell us about some more of your stuff that you have coming up as far as shows that you want some of our viewers to attend, your projects, your music videos, your tags for every social media platform, all of that. Okay.
Yes. So, first and foremost, I do want to give a shout out to everyone who assisted in creating this album. Sydney, Soul Sadana, my drummer, my drummer, Ahmed, bass player, Dion, my producer, the Midas Black. For real, her tag is for real. She helped me record my first music video. Canary, she helped with the creative direction. Um, any names I'm missing? Asia, I don't know if you saw her in here. Asia is just an
Mhm.
all around bestie. She's always there, helping me with everything. Anyone, I don't want to miss anybody. um, yeah, that's how we. Yeah, that's everyone. I just wanted to make sure I was good on everyone. So yeah, other than plugs, I do have a show. It's the Spring Festival 2021. It is April 24th, 1 to 6. There are going to be a few other great performers there too. Um, just be on the lookout. I'm looking to honestly just have content from now until like I don't even have a end destination. Like I just want to always be able to produce content. So this is I feel like I'm moving in the right direction.
Everybody make sure to go and check Trent Domonic out on Instagram. You can check him out through this Instagram, his Instagram, however you want to do it. You also have Twitter, correct?
Yes, my Twitter is actually my first and last name TTRENTMOYER. If anyone wants to follow me on
Okay.
Twitter, I have a
Okay,
lot
so
of unpopular food opinions on Twitter that people always love to talk about.
yeah, yeah. We've been kind of stalking you on Twitter as well. So it's like, oh, he loves food too. I'm a foodie, so I feel you.
Oh yeah.
I recently had to become a vegan foodie, so
Oh
it's an
really? How's
adjustment.
that been?
Yeah, an adjustment. I live in the South, so it's hard to
I feel that.
it's hard to like find foods that aren't dairy based or egg
Hmm.
based or it's crazy. You know how it is.
Yeah, I do.
But Yeah, I'm getting there. It was not a personal choice.
That's me. That's literally me right
Yeah.
now. I'm lactose intolerant, but every now and then I'm like, I just want some Cold Stone Creamery.
You guys make sure to go and check out Trent Dominic's event April 24th. It's from 1 to 6 in Charlotte. You can also go to his Twitter as well as his Instagram. He has those flyers posted in his story and on his feed, correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Alrighty. So I want to go ahead and wrap up the last few questions that we have for you. These are actually questions on the fly, so let's see if I remember them.
Okay.
Um, we at Case Room Productions, like I've said before, we did some digging on your background and those sorts of things, and we found a few videos of you actually performing. You mentioned that your safe place, I guess
Hmm.
we could say, is on the
Yeah.
stage. How do you go about preparing for a live performance?
Wow. So let me tell you, before a performance, this like it never fails. It never fails. So hours before the performance, I'm feeling great. I'm excited about the performance. I know exactly what I have to do to make it successful. Um, 2 hours before when I realizing like I'm getting there, then my stomach starts getting a little funky, but I'm like, I'm good. Like I'm not gonna get nervous this time. An hour
Mhm.
before, like my entire body starts shaking. My teeth, I'm trying to stop them from chattering. I'm just nervous because it's always a different feeling going in front of a crowd of people who don't know your talent. So it's like, I do know that I can sing well. So like I know that I can sing well, but then like, things happen. Like I might forget words, I might mess up a run, I might sound bad. Like there's just a few things a few circumstances that go into making a good performance. So
Mhm.
like I always get extremely, extremely nervous, but as soon as like they call my name, then I stand up and I take a breath. Always, always take a breath as soon as I stand up, just so that I can like, okay, see, am I still nervous? I'm not nervous. Walk up to the stage, and literally before I begin singing, I always like take a giant breath. In my head, I say a short little prayer, and everything is golden.
That's awesome. That
I'm sorry. I see
okay, I
someone
need to.
said favorite food to eat in the studio.
Yes, that was the other question.
My
What
favorite
is
food
your
to eat in the
favorite food?
studio. Um, Room temperature water.
That's it.
That's
Room
it.
temperature
Like I
water?
I don't necessarily because I'm always I don't necessarily like to eat in the studio because I don't want anything to like get in the way of the vocals. So if anything like let me think. Let me actually think.
No M&Ms, just the green ones.
No. I don't necessarily like I don't really eat candy really unless somebody
Yeah.
has candy and I'm like, "Can I get some?"
Mhm.
So,
Exactly.
not really. I don't really have a favorite food. I really I drink room temperature water before like when I'm in the studio. My producer, he likes
Mhm.
chocolate chip cookies, so he might have a chocolate chip cookie and I'll grab one or two, but mostly I don't really like to eat in the studio.
Yeah. The chocolate chip cookie doesn't make like your that.
No, I mean, no, I have the water to wash it down, so
But with that, it seems like all of the questions, unless our viewers have any questions for you. Nope, that looks like all the questions. So again, you guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Trent Dominic, thank you so much for being here again.
All right. Thank you. Bye. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, you too. Bye bye. All right, you guys, that is the end. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and bye bye.
I was coming out of lessons, nearly done with adolescence, and you told me that you'd go